we feel the pain. Ghost of stories long forgotten. In the silence, their cries are begotten. Echoes call, we hear their plight. Through the veil of endless night, touching the portal of the paranormal, we delve deep. In shadows thick, where data creeps. Bring the history back to life. We fight in this haunted realm. We stand and ignite. Unearthed relics, secrets unfold. Through ancient echoes, tales retold. A death with spirits, a twisted fate. We chase the darkness, it's never too late. Through the dust, the breath we sense. In this realm, it's all intense. Touching the portal of the paranormal, we delve deep. In shadows thick, where data creeps. Bring the history back to life. We fight in this haunted realm. We stand and ignite. Through the dust, the breath we sense. In this realm, it's all intense.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of PTTP Paranormal UnCut. I hope everyone's had a great week and a good start to their weekend. Tonight we are joined by two guests who their name is Whispered Encounters, and basically they look to investigate the unknown but unknown places. So they're not going out for all the popular locations that a lot of people are doing. So they're looking at the smaller locations that are not well known. And in their investigations, they are picking up some fantastic EVPs. I actually come across Andy and Tracy by watching some of their videos that popped up on my feed on Facebook. And I thought, give it a little go, have a look what's going on. And some of the evidence that they've caught has been phenomenal. So, reached out to Andy and asked if he wanted to have a chat. And they've both agreed to come on. And we're going to speak about how they got into the paranormal and their mission of what they want to achieve in the paranormal as well. So I'm going to bring Andy and Tracy on now. So let's bring them on. Hey guys, how are you both doing?
Your eyes.
Firstly, thank you so much for taking your time out. I know you've had a lot going on, but still taking time out to have a chat with me this evening. What I always like to start by saying is, if any of you guys watching want to ask Andy or Tracy a question, please put your comments in the posts and we'll ask those questions. But what I really want to do with both of you is just start off by asking, how did you both get into the paranormal? Was it something that you did together as a married couple, or was it something that you sort of met each other in the paranormal? How did it all start for you guys?
God.
As a married couple?
Yeah.
Yeah. We just knew some friends. We started out as Contra Quest Paranormal over 3 years ago. I mean, we did a lot of the popular things, like ghost hunting, all the popular places, and we met a lot of really good people, to be fair.
Got some amazing people.
Yeah, some amazing good friends and good people in the paranormal. And yeah, we got some quite good evidence, and we made some good videos. We just decided to take a step back.
Just rebranding.
Yeah, rebranding. Take a step from that, because we through experience, not saying we are like mega experienced, but we've picked up a lot along the way, and we figured out that we don't need a lot of tech. We just got into more of the EVP, finding the history, the story behind these EVPs, and telling these untold stories.
Yeah, I was going to say it's because it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. Is that it's for me. It's not just going out there and going, yeah, this place is haunted, or and I mean, let's face it, it's something that everybody wants. Is like you say with your tech, make that cat ball flash, can you set that
Yes,
up?
you do.
It's then kind of like you get to that stage where you're thinking, well, who's setting it off?
Yeah.
And then that triggers the question,
What's setting it off? Yeah.
why are they still here? Who is this? You
Who
know,
are they?
what's their story?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
You know,
definitely.
I mean, you go to most places, like you go like, let's say you go a castle or something like that, and there's mass loads of history on the king, the queen, the nobleman, the guards, but no one's ever given that history on the
Yeah,
stable boy or
untold
the
stories,
cook, or and we found obviously through different experiments that a lot of people there's a lot of the people that we've met through the slums, or you know, that have never actually been given
that
recognition.
recognition. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's the thing. There's a lot more to a building, to a location, than the popular people that are known there. Like you're saying with the castle, the kings, the queens that are from there. You know, you've got the other people that did a lot of the work there, and you know, and you sometimes find they got more of a story to tell than the big names, don't they? So
Yeah.
It's not always the spirits that are connected to actually living in the property. Sometimes they're connected to the grounds, and although they were there before the building.
no, that is true. What sparked your interest in the paranormal? Was it through watching it on TV, or was it a personal
For me
experience?
personally, and I've told this story a million times. I was basically brought up in a haunted house.
Wow.
So like, I mean, the stuff that went on in there, it'd be a paranormal investigator's dream. So of course, obviously, some of the stuff that I experienced and some of the stuff that went on, it gives you that intrigue, that insight, that kind of like, well, like you say, you start watching such as Most Haunted, and you're thinking, oh, okay, could I do this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And but then I suppose at the time, never really had anybody to go with, or you know, life moves on. So I never really
definitely.
thought about it, obviously, until I met Tracy, and then we just got into it from there.
We were watching all sorts of paranormal shows and stuff on YouTube, and we've always had a massive interest in it. Together as a couple, so that gave us a closer bond.
Yeah.
And then we thought, oh, we're just going to go and find out, is it real, you know, what it's all about. And then it just moved on from there.
Yeah. And then, you know, you say we touched on the YouTube, the TV shows, you know, doing the investigations yourself. Do you find now that the TV shows is not how an investigation really is?
Oh,
but
would
you say that, you know, you've separated the two to two totally different aspects of the paranormal?
Absolutely.
Oh God, yeah. It's not
the same at all.
I think, let's face it, I think pretty much
TV was out for entertainment, obviously. It was all most of it is for show. We know that.
Well, yeah.
You know, but you know, it's.
I suppose it's one of them. I mean, like, obviously, you're watching it as a kid, and it's like, oh, it's dead scary, and you got these people jumping, like screaming and running from locations and stuff like that. And then you walk into your first ever location, and you're like, oh, okay, it's not really the way it's put across when you're watching these two. And then obviously you get your first knock, or you get a bang in the other room.
You get excited.
And yeah, you get more of an adrenaline rush than you do screaming and running from the building. And I mean, talking for myself personally, I think it draws me in more. You know what I mean? You got an unknown bang in the other room. I'm going into that room, not
into it. Yeah. Room. No, definitely. And what about for you, Tracy? What's your, you know, when you think about TV now and the way you investigate, you know, I know that a lot of them say it's for entertainment purposes, but a lot of people are still taking it as these are real ways of investigating. And to me it's not. But what's your thoughts about how
It's
people perceive
it's not
online?
real. Half of it's not going to say you can't unless it's proven they can back it up. It's not real.
Demons,
Not
demonics,
demons,
imps.
all the weird, stupid
Oh.
things. We've not experienced any of that.
I was going to say, I mean, we've gone
There's
over.
only ever been one occasion I've been physically scared. I've been to 70, 80 locations.
And again, Andy, you just said about demonic, that side of the paranormal. Do you believe that there is stuff that was never on this earth, or my theory is, if, say for example, you got a person that's lived a bad life, they've done wrong things and they passed away a bad person, could that be a spirit being the same as what they were here, but people are making that as something demonic or something not human? Or what's your thoughts?
I mean, like you say, pretty much. I mean, obviously, before I went into the paranormal, I did kind of like delve into the history and psychology behind the demonology and the witchcraft, and I suppose cutting through it as you grow older, you do begin to realise that yes, there's dark energy, and there's probably bits of there's probably something out there that's not, I wouldn't say not of this earth, but a different level of nasty, shall we put it? We'll put it that way. But like you've just said, a lot of the times, if you meet Fred West as a spirit, he's not exactly going to walk up, shake your hand, and go, "Hi, how are you?"
Mm.
You know what I mean? He's going to be like, "What can I do to harm you?" He's going to have a sadistic mindset, as he would when he was alive.
Yeah, like I said,
that's the thing, and that's what I mean. Like, people putting it to something demonic, it could be just the way I say it, and the way it's a pissed off spirit. It was pissed off in life. It's pissed off in spirit world.
Yeah. In my point of view, the word demonic, the word haunted are overhyped. You can say something sounds demonic. I've had EVPs that are dark. I've heard some disturbing voices. I've heard that they're also what was the word for it? I'd say warped to the point where they do sound horrible, but they could just be the way they've come through. I can't explain that. I mean, demonic is not proven, so how can you explain if it is demonic or
I mean,
not?
you think...
that's my opinion, really.
I mean, you think, let's say, and I mean, you'll vouch for this. Let's say you've got Joe Bloggs, and he's lived in the same house over 60 years, and he's never moved anything in that room. Everything's stayed the same. So you move into that property and you start renovating, you're knocking walls out, you're moving stuff around, and there's a good chance that he's going to be slightly paid off.
Yeah.
With the fact that you're destroying his property, which
I get that, yeah.
could well give it that reason to come across as dark or something sinister. But all he's doing is just letting you know that he's not happy.
Yeah.
You're invading his space in a way, and he's protecting what he's always known to be his space. No, I agree. And just to mention, Sarah's just put a comment. Well, she put a comment in there when we were talking about locations and spirit. She said sometimes spirits are not actually linked to the location, and that I agree with that. Sometimes we think that is located, but it could be linked to someone investigating the location. And that's a good question to ask. Have you two ever gone out investigating, thinking we're going to see who we pick up, and then you end up picking up someone on a personal level that's linked to you guys and not the location itself?
I think the only I'd say probably the only time that was when we did, because we, at one stage, we had our own location.
Okay.
And we invited Jack Hutchinson.
That was it. My nan. I
And
mentioned my nan.
her nan come through.
Yeah. And what she said was true.
But she'd actually go on.
Yeah. What he said was actually genuinely true.
But this,
I found I had a hard time believing it. It was like because the name he mentioned hadn't actually passed, but it was a message from my nan
to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, go on.
Yeah, and there was a name actually linked to the building as well in the same name, so kind of on the wall about it. But it was very interesting.
It was. I mean, a bit weird.
That's the only one we've had.
I'd say. I mean, I've had it a few. I mean, again, you can't really prove it, and you can't go into the conversation of is it or isn't it. But going back to EVPs, we've had EVPs where they've actually mentioned my name.
Yes, our name. We've had our names mentioned.
I mean, a weird one. I'll have to send it you after, like, if you can hear it, afterwards. Andy Lindon, we can be friends.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was.
Oh wow, a full sentence.
Yeah.
I thought that was the only time I was genuinely scared. I actually heard this with my own ears. I didn't have the EVP, that recorder on, but I actually heard it myself in the room. I've had like 4 or 5 DVPs or whatever the whole time I've been investigating, but it's the only time I actually shook with fear because I felt his angriness and he was angry. And Andy was like, "Oh, it's not that, it's not that."
I couldn't hear it.
So I said, "Wait till we get back." I had to leave the room. I says, "I need to go walk out this room. It's too much." And we played the recording back and the audio saying, "Andy Lindon, we can be friends." And I'm like, I actually heard that, but he didn't. and it's like, it's the strangest. I've actually got the footage and I'll send it to you, but it was creepy.
It's weird.
Really, really creepy. Yeah, I've actually had my name mentioned, my maiden name and my married name in one sentence. Wow. Yeah.
It is unique because, you know, for me, I got into the paranormal because my wife always liked to do it and she was doing it way before me. And it was funny because I would always take the little bit of the mick going, you're going to go and play Ghostbusters with your friends and everything. And I don't know if it was like something where she was doing it and then it sort of opened my mind to things, like little things started happening in the house. Like one day she come back from an investigation with her sister and a friend of hers. And her and her sister were sat downstairs, and no word of a lie, we had footsteps run across the landing.
Oh,
now
wow.
our boys were quite young, so instantly I thought the boys have got out of bed. They've heard their mum come home, and you know, go upstairs. They were both sound asleep in their own beds. You know, even my oldest was asleep, and I'm like, okay, that's a bit weird. That's a bit freaky. And that same night, we felt like a tug. Like someone pulling our feet when we went to bed, like someone pulling our feet.
Cool.
And the first thing I was like, "You brought something home, you know. Pack your bags. You can go now." That's you know.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think for me, where I come in with it in a different mindset, trying to understand it, this is what I love about the podcast. I'm learning off people that do it, you know, for a long time, and I'm learning off them. It's like my name's unusual, Nando. So we had a guy come down from Canada called Brian, and he wanted to go to these locations, and he also did an EVP recording, and he was going around and he was introducing each and every one of us. And as he, you know, as we listened back to the EVP, it said "Hello, Nando" in full. I'm like, unless you've picked up the chicken restaurant, you know, that's just for me. It was just like, wow. But with the EVPs, there is a lot of, shall we say, like debates around EVPs. Is it pareidolia that, you know, you think you've heard something, but now because you thought of it, now you are hearing that, and because you're telling other people that's what you've heard, that's what they're hearing. You know, how are we able to say this is guaranteed a great EVP when you've got people that are still coming in saying you're only hearing that because that's what you want to hear, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's a load of
Oh,
talk.
Andy's passed that one on to you. So, Tracy, how would you,
I've
know,
got to be honest. I mean, you see, this is a conversation we've had.
Yeah,
Now, obviously, me personally, studying into the audio and everything else.
mhm,
I mean, let's face it. What the first thing I've got to say is that everybody thinks that an EVP is a straight voice from spirit, and it's not. A lot of the times, you'll find that it's audio that's been manipulated by spirit
yeah.
to
Sorry.
to come across in the best way that they can communicate. I mean, I don't think anybody in our lifetime is ever going to find out the truth, but for them to actually do a full conversation as we're having this conversation now,
Mhm.
I'm guessing it take a lot of energy.
oh, yeah, yeah.
The amount of times that we've been sat in a silent room
Yeah,
and you've had bog standard natural airflow or whatever that's picked up, but then you get that voice within that.
mhm,
And often, especially when I used to do the videos, obviously I'd have the same graph.
Mm.
And I was having this conversation with Andy. I started noticing a pattern that obviously you've got your layers of audio, but then where there was an EVP or a manipulation of sound, they'd been bedded in between the two levels.
Mm.
So they wouldn't be on a plane. They'd be almost like, I don't even know how to explain it, but when you've got, yes, I mean, we've done it ourselves where we've listened to audio and we've gone, well, it sounds like this, but we can't be 100%. So it's not going to go in.
yeah, yeah.
But then when you've got, prime example, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, the one we did. We went to visit. It's on around the corner from Cadbury World, Selly Manor.
Sally Manor.
Selly Manor. It's literally 5-minute drive around the corner.
Excuse me.
We went in there and it was opening time, but there was nobody actually in the building, just me and Andy. It was literally before, like 20 minutes before anybody turned up on the grounds. And we had a perfectly quiet building when there was nobody in there, no sounds, nothing else. And we got a whisper of a female. Can you hear me in the background?
Wow.
Yeah.
But then obviously because we don't do the history on any of the places we go to.
No, not before we
We'd
go.
rather go in on it with an open mind.
We research what we pick up.
And then obviously when we come back, Trace will go through the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when you pick up a name,
A full name.
or
Part of a name that you can actually link to that building.
yeah, then I will sit down and do 3 or 4 hours worth of research into that property.
Mm.
And I don't know. I suppose it's one of them things. It's everybody's debate to their own. But when you get what you hear a name, and
it didn't
that comes up as full history.
Yeah.
How can you debunk that when you can tie up to the full name? And this, I think this is part of the problem where you have people sitting on their keyboards, they'll listen to what you're putting out and they got such a high opinion, but they don't take the time to say, well, actually, let me ask you the question in person. How did you get it? How did you find the information? And I think that's what we're missing, isn't it? It's like people would jump and tear you apart before actually finding out the facts.
Yeah, part of it's lack of education. Part of it. Yeah.
And I think the way you guys are doing it, like you're saying, you're going into locations blind, so you've got no, it's not power of suggestion of what you've researched already. You're going in there.
I wouldn't know these names that come through at all, because like most of them are not even known.
The thing is,
it's possible to do that sometimes.
When you go in, when you're armed with the history, you go in with a pretext.
Yeah.
So if you've read,
you'd be calling out for someone's told you about instead of looking beyond that.
Yeah, it's so I mean, it's like, let's say there's a Bob, a Mary, and a Steve. you're naturally psychologically going to go in there and go, can Bob come forward? Can Steve come forward?
Yeah, exactly. And then you're going to think that you're hearing the responses that you want
Yeah,
because
yeah. So
you're allowing your brain to come up with those answers. But then, we're talking about EVPs, versing that with spirit boxes. I know that they could be similar because we're trying to get voices through a spirit box. And again, they're manipulating the white noise to bring a voice forward. But what are your thoughts on using a spirit box? And I'll give you a scenario where we used one. We went to, where did we go? Oh, what was it called in Manchester? This was ages ago now. Antwerp Mansion. And we were sat, have you been to Antwerp Mansion?
Yeah.
What a building. What an absolute amazing building.
It's got great energy there.
Yeah, but we went down in the basement and they had some old like mannequins and everything.
Yeah.
And we just put a spirit board, a spirit box in the middle, and there was three of us, and we were just asking random questions, like thinking nothing's going to be picked up. So Dan, he turned around and said, "What am I holding in my hand?" And I think he had the arm of a mannequin, and it says arm. Is that because are we hearing that? Do you think, or is it because we're actually using an item and then our brain's telling us we hear it? But it was very clear. It was so clear.
Yeah, we can't explain. If I'd say two I can remember that stood out.
Priest Cottage was.
There was one at the Priest Cottage that was the most insane SB7 experience we've ever had with responses. And there was one at the one in Warwick, Stratford upon Avon.
Oh yeah,
which mentions Shakespeare's sister.
Oh wow!
And that was actually in the building. Yeah, that was Shreve's house. What was it called? The something.
Yeah, I can't think. Yeah, the oh god, it's the what? Oh, what's it called now? it's the one that everybody does in Stratford.
Yeah. This big
I can't think what it's called.
On the main high street. On the
I'm trying to think now.
Something experience anyway.
Yeah. But we also had through the same SB7. We was talking. I can't think what.
Yeah.
Can't think.
One of the people who were there on the event says, "I heard it say John."
John, and then it comes through and goes John.
John, and they were like, "No way." Yeah.
So Ricky's just asked, "Is that Guy's Cliffs that you're trying to remember?"
No. It's Falstaff experience.
That's it,
Falstaffs. Yeah, and that was one where we heard John and Shakespeare's sister.
Yeah. But
oh dear.
Yeah.
The one at Priest Cottage, it actually told us to F off, get out. Priests and all sorts came through in pure response to our questions, and we were blown away. It's like, how would that actually
that's what
happen?
I mean. I suppose it's like anything. It's like, you see, we'll have it on the fastest speed. We'll have it in reverse.
Yeah.
Well, we don't use the aerial.
No.
So you can eliminate as much as you can of the obviously because you're skipping. I mean, we've like I said, like
the one response was, "Are we talking to the priest here?" And straight away it came through the
priest.
No, it said the daughter. Is it we're
wow.
talking to the priest here? And it went the daughter.
Yeah, and then we went on the same one. I mean, that was our friend Becky and Matthew came with us, and that was it. The word bitch came through.
Yeah, and F.
Now, I mean, to have that through snippets of and to make a word is pretty much lottery winning tickets. And she was like, she turned around and says, "Well, you can call me a B if you want, but I'm still sleeping in your bed tonight." It went bedtime.
Bedtime.
See, because that's me, and I think we're it's coming to the point of paranormal versus people that want to debunk what's going on. And I think the thing is, there's so much more claims to suggest that the paranormal is real, because not everyone, and don't get me wrong, I know there's going to be people out in the field that are purposely mimicking their equipment to get the responses that they want to put out the videos. But then, not everyone is doing that. Not everyone. I'm not clever enough to understand how to manipulate a tool to
No,
be able to get responses. I just go in there and I'll put it on, and if something happens, I'll be like, "Well,
That's
that's
it.
that's
weird."
what happens, as always.
This
Rob.
is like I mean,
Yeah.
we won't go in there with any sort of equipment that can be affected.
Mm.
You know what I mean? We like, obviously, like I said, going back to I mean, because we use a lot of Skytech equipment, obviously because
We did.
it's because it's been scientifically like databased over a long period.
Yeah.
And obviously it's been set up more for the science of saying, right, there's a change in the ambience, there's a change in the atmosphere, there's a change and these are drastic changes, not subtle changes.
Yeah, use it as a guide.
Yeah, so obviously if we get, let's say we get an EVP, but you've got a change in the magnetics, it doesn't prove it, but it
Furthers the evidence.
to say, right, okay, so we've got this change of atmospherics at the same time that we've picked up a potential voice of a spirit.
Yeah, or anything like that, or activity.
But I mean, not everybody is ever going to agree.
No.
No, I think that's we're in a field where, and we were saying this in the back, like just before we started, no one can have a decent or a respectful debate. I believe that we can sit here and I can guarantee that I can show you evidence that I think that I've caught that you may not agree with, and you may have your own opinion, vice versa. And I'm sure that we would be able to respectfully go, okay, we don't agree with each other. But it doesn't need to go and then suddenly you're putting posts out on social media saying these people are really bad. These people are, you know, and then the name calling starts. And does it need to be taken to that level over, let's be honest, we got so much more important stuff to be worrying about than having a battle. Like, you know, you expect this with kids in the playgrounds, you know, not adults going at it and then like wasting your time trying to
Agree to disagree.
That's what I mean. I mean, so, you know, I mean, I will.
Or just.
I mean, I'll put it this way, right? Our own son, and I mean, I can come back from an investigation and go, "Oh yeah, we caught this and this happened," and we will spend 2 or 3 hours because he's a pure scientific debunker. And he will have a rational explanation for absolutely everything.
Question everything.
But we love it because we'll have this healthy debate, and then just at the end of the debate, we'll just go, right, okay, so we're no further forward into proving this, but your opinion, my opinion, doesn't change who we are or what, you know what I mean, what we think of each other. We've just had that.
Yeah, I think it's just a level of respect that people are missing, and that's the biggest issue. Chris, just refer to the comments. Chris put a note on there saying, "Love linking history to the buildings. That's how paranormal should be." And I agree. It's when you can link the history to the location. I think that's a massive achievement. A massive achievement.
I was going to say, I mean, they're the same, and they took Chris. I mean,
Chris is great.
Chris has done so much. He's got his own location.
That was one where I had an Estes method session for 45 minutes.
This was a lock off on a live.
On a lock off live, and I picked up 4 names I didn't know about.
Chris didn't even know. His missus just text him and gone, "I need to call you."
Yeah, there was actually a link to the building. I had no clue. That was probably. I don't do it very often, but I have a way of it. Like I say, so I pick up such good EVPs because I listen. I pick up a lot more, maybe more than a normal person. I pick up a lot. You know, it's weird. When I hear something, I know it's an EVP to a normal person, or something in the background. I know the difference. It's hard to explain.
And
supersonic
hearing, yeah.
And let's be honest, you know, I think that's the other thing about the paranormal we need to realise is you're not going to get something every time, and I'm sure that's been the case for you guys, that you've gone on location and you've not picked up anything. Because again, I think a lot of people that view the paranormal, they think something's going to happen every time. I would love to go in like some of these paranormal things on YouTube where the chair lifts up and starts swinging, and
Oh,
I don't know how long I would stay in a location if that actually did happen. I think that would be my
yeah.
that would be my comfort zone now. But it's really not like that, is it? It's
No,
No.
you
absolutely
know
not.
Oh God,
the
I've never,
EVPs that you guys have picked up have been amazing, but a lot of the times it's very minimal stuff that you pick up, isn't it?
Oh God,
When
yeah.
Yeah.
out on location.
We've been to locations, done 30 recordings, gone through every single one about 20, 30 times and gone, nothing.
yeah,
Absolutely nothing.
yeah, yeah. It's
Brilliant.
true. Not everywhere. Not everywhere's got a strong enough energy. It's like my belief, or my saying is, spirit have got a voice and they know how to use it. Basically, if they want to speak up, they'll let you know.
No, I agree.
Even if it's direct, I've heard them 5, 6 times direct in the room, and the same with the EVPs. If the energy's there and they've got a message, it will come through.
It is.
And do you ever find like doing this has opened you up? So do you find that little things happen at home sometimes? Like you've been on an investigation and you're unwinding from an investigation, you think,
Well, I mean, we've got 5 vessels, so
oh, okay.
5 vessels.
plus a haunted picture off Neil come in as well.
We've had weird things in the house happen before that, though.
Yeah, we've got the little girl.
The little girl sits on the stairs and talks. I've heard her singing twice. That's over a 3-year period.
Do you think this is a little girl linked to the location, like your
We
your
don't
home?
know.
Or
We've been told that she travels and she comes in and out.
But
I think it's because I'm more of a mother figure that I hear her more. I don't know. My daughter Charlotte, she's 21, and she says she hears a young girl, child on upstairs. And this before she knew anything. I didn't tell her about it.
oh wow.
So it's very strange. It's only 2 or 3 occasions I've actually heard her, and Andy's once or twice.
I've heard her a couple of times, but then it's. I mean, we've got obviously we've got one spirit in the house that we think was linked to the grounds.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether anybody else is the same. But it's one of them kind of rules that we've always had, that we won't investigate our own house.
No.
Do you know what? That's one rule we've always had in our house is when we're doing it, it's like Sarah won't keep like any of the equipment inside the house. It will go in the garage, and that's where it's left. We've never ever attempted it, but then there has been a few. Like this is the thing with when it comes to kids now. All 3 of our boys. Oh, I think no, the first 2, Reese and Gino. They've both come out and said that they've witnessed or experienced something. Like our oldest son, he used to say that he would be laying in bed and he felt like something was putting pressure on his chest. And he would even come out and say he was being thumped, And then the same with Gino, hearing voices. And this is the other thing that, that I was looking into is that their minds, because kids got a very wild imagination, haven't they?
Very sensitive, yeah.
Or is it because they are actually experiencing something that a lot of the times adults sort of dismiss it, don't we? That you sort of just move it along.
They experience it more than we do, to be fair.
It's like back, I'd say 40, 50 years ago, we were told to stop being stupid. There's no such thing.
No such thing as ghosts and everything.
It was drilled out of us, but now it's more believable. We need to listen more, especially to the children, because they're more sensitive. They can see and hear. And I know that.
So, it's like anything, isn't it?
Yeah, listen to the story, try and find out something behind it. I mean, they might hold some truth.
I mean, it's like...
Always listen to them.
It's like you said, I mean, when you've got a child and they've got an imaginary friend, and this is a conversation I've had a billion times, we naturally as parents will go, that's not, I mean, obviously, I suppose it's different when you're in the paranormal because you can kind of like, is it or isn't it? But as a bog standard generic parent, you're going to be like, don't be stupid. That's not real.
Mhm.
It's all in your head. So you mechanically kind of like
Programs.
programming them
Mhm.
to shut off their senses.
Yeah.
I think you're right, and especially when you come from like a religious background. Like for
Yeah.
me, my family are all Catholic, like Italian Catholics, and even my mum to this day, she'd be like, "That you shouldn't be playing with stuff like that. Shouldn't be playing." But then not going into it. A lot of people don't believe it, but then they believe in what the Bible says, where there's no actual proof that any of that really exists. We're going on what we're told from a
Yeah.
book.
Mm.
So, and
But then
that
like
I find a bit mind-boggling is like what we do is try and connect spirit to history,
yeah.
and show history does live on.
Yeah.
Exactly what we do when we go to church and we pray to God.
Exactly what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
We're putting our faith in what we're told, but we have no real evidence.
Yeah.
And that to me is like, is it because believing in a religion is safer than potentially believing what we're finding in the paranormal?
Exactly. Got a point there.
I suppose it's confident levels, isn't it? It's like obviously if you pitted, excuse me, if you got a Catholic and a Protestant and a Jehovah's Witness and somebody from the Church of England, they're all going to pit their proof to their God being the only God.
Mm.
But when you've got 4 or 5 different gods, they're all like, well, your God don't exist and your God don't exist. But then you're going, well, hold on a minute. Our God exists. It's your God that don't exist. You know what I mean? There's no real, it's a vicious circle that no one's ever going to prove.
Yeah.
No, exactly. Now with locations, you guys have done quite a lot. Is there any locations that you've sort of walked out and scratching your head thinking, not as haunted, or the reports when you've gone and had a look at it, you feel like no?
Let you go first.
Yeah. Well, we said this off camera, and it is seriously, only my own opinion, so overhyped, and that is 30 East Drive. Because but Tracy's not been.
I would love to go there because I want to prove. I want to use my voice recorder and actually pick something up and prove to everyone is not actually a monk.
You see, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
do I believe there's spirit there? Yes. Do I believe that there's mass loads of poltergeist activity as is so-called documented? No, I don't. I mean, if you can sit, yes, you're going to get quiet days in a location, but when you've got so much documented evidence of a major occurrence on a daily basis, and you can sit there with your feet up and experience nothing, then you're kind of questioning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you have to sit back and go, well, hold on a minute. There's all these different documentations of how, like the scale of the paranormal that used to go on there. But then you happen to be the most unluckiest person in the world that goes there and it's dead.
Yeah, because that's one location for me that I've always been on the fence about. Like, I think when you walk into it, the way I would describe it, you're being transported back to, what's it, the 70s, was it?
Yeah.
Was it around the 70s? And the way they've left it, I don't think it's like the original furniture in there, but they've left like the decor to be as much as back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I think your mind sort of transforms, like you're going back in time.
Yeah.
And then we watched the film, and then I'm like, and then you watch things like certain TV shows that say someone gets pulled up the stairs, and and it's just like, but then you can sit there. Was it a bit nervy, like sitting there? Yeah, because of the story. But I don't think it's as haunted with the spirits that are meant to be there. So then I try and say, well, could this just be a hype from the film that was put out relating to the property?
Yeah. Yeah, there's
And
so many different stories though. I mean,
it's a weird one, isn't it? Because
no one
people
knows
have,
what actually is there. I mean, how many thousands of investigators have been in there, and not one of them's come back to say what is actually there. That's what confuses me.
I mean, there's definitely, I'd say there's spirit there.
Yeah,
I
there's got to be an energy there. Every ground's got history and energy, but what type? It's like
don't think it's as.
I've seen no solid evidence at all.
no, it's a difficult one, isn't it, Andy? And it's like, you
I
know,
just,
when you say, because you've sat there and you know, you get a feel for it. There's something weird about the house.
yeah,
But you know, my thing I would love. There's a few of my friends, and we were talking about it to have them, her and Sarah, to go in there, just them two, and then we film it from another location and see
yeah.
what happens. If it, because would it be more active if there was less people there? You know, I just
suppose it's
find it
one
a
of
really
them.
odd location.
It's one of them, I suppose. It's because you, like I say, it's, you know, I mean, there's proof of Emily, and we've actually found Emily's grave. And a lot of obviously the story of her being put in the well and everything else. There's history on that.
Okay.
So, you know, yes, that's going to, like any locations, that's going to be a strong emotion. So that's going to give
In energy.
Yeah, that's going to stay in that building with the energy. But for things falling off the wall and being thrown and people being picked up or scratched and stuff, that I don't know, maybe it's just me. I just can't get my head around that.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? This is a location that I could literally just speak about for hours, and you know, and have that sort of conversation about people's findings. And again, it's not like I always say, it's my opinion. It's not discrediting
That's what I
anyone.
mean. It's like,
You know,
I mean, I'm not
but
knocking
yeah,
anybody that goes in there and gets the evidence, because, you know, absolutely fantastic to them. You know, that's brilliant. But like I said, for me, my own senses and my own feelings, I don't think it's as like what's the word? Sorry, excuse me. When they say it's one of the most haunted,
there's no level
and
of haunting there.
you know, for me, it's you'd have to put it as a mediocre, just another location.
yeah, no, I get it. And is there any other locations that you feel haven't sort of given you that feeling that is actually haunted?
The mill.
Oh yeah, Daniel's Mill. Daniel's Mill's in Bridge North. We've been there twice. It's freezing cold, absolutely, like the dead of winter, obviously. Absolutely nothing, no activity, no, not even an EVP. Would you believe? Silent, absolutely silent, dead. That's
And
another.
do you guys feel when you're having those like moments where you think you've come out and it's like, I don't think it's that haunted, or you don't go and get anything? Do you think it's important to put it out to your followers still to say, we did this, nothing happened at all? Does that give more credibility to what we're doing by being honest and saying we did a location and there was nothing?
Yeah, it should.
Oh yeah, I mean, I suppose we don't really put it out.
We don't put it
as
out
a located post, but I suppose it's one of them again, isn't it? I mean, you could put it out like, if I was to go to 30 East Drive tomorrow and go, it's a load of crap, I'd probably have God knows how many people in my inbox going, oh, it was just a dead night, oh, you didn't investigate it properly, or you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
so many different opinions. I mean, someone could go in and have something happen, and it's a flip of a coin.
It is. I mean,
flip of a coin.
I suppose the only way you're ever gonna find out for yourself is to actually go there and
You can't.
And I think that's where I'm coming from with it, and where you're coming from is that we've been to the location, we've stayed like we stayed there for the night, and
Yeah,
it just doesn't, and like you said, people would say that you've not investigated the property correctly. How can you wrongly investigate along a location? You
exactly.
can do call outs, you do the EVP recordings. You can't really mimic an EVP recording because you're picking it up as it's recording.
Yeah.
How do you investigate a location wrong? I don't believe there is a wrong way of doing an investigation.
No, because everybody respectfully and uniquely does their own style.
Exactly. Do
Mm.
their own thing, go their own way.
I mean, I've got total respect for the way that,
exactly.
Again, going into a conversation we had off camera about apps. I'm not
That
going
was
to
my next question. We were going to go into the apps. What are your thoughts about? Because you got you got Necrophonic, Spirit Tracker. What was in Spirit Wave?
Yeah.
Are they tools that, do you believe they're tools that have been designed to pick up false positives, or do you think they can actually work in the paranormal?
I just a generic app could pick up a name or give you a name, and it repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. It's I don't believe in them at all.
No,
I don't believe they work. I've never had any evidence or collaborating evidence from an app.
I'm going to say it's
well,
like I was going to say, like I said to you earlier, is that obviously if you look into a phone, it's got a generic sensor.
Yeah.
And that generic sensor is there for the safety of the phone, to tell you when you're too close to EMF, to tell you if your phone's overheating. It's not got the software or the capability, in my own opinion, to pick up anything that's going to significantly be changed or manipulated by spirit the way you want it to. And plus, like I said to you, if you think that a lot of these apps ask for permissions, like location, permission to use the mic.
Mm.
So the same way as when you go on Google and you type in wardrobes, and then go on Facebook, and every other post is an advert for a wardrobe.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's great. So it does give the evidence that potentially the phones, when you're given that permit, it is listening to the conversation that what you're having.
Yeah.
And then it can sort of mimic it. But then, even with that said, does that give people the right to brand someone a fake? Because they're using it and they're using it to the best of their abilities.
yeah.
I know people have been told that they're fake or what they're doing is not real. They're just doing the best they can with what technology they have available, don't they?
People use it to go stuff with. It helps you bring questions, it helps you investigate, to be fair. And in my opinion, it's a guiding, and it's a good way of helping people to investigate. But and another side of me says, because I know probably a different side of things, that they don't come out with surnames. They come out with the same thing all the time. They come out with for me, my evidence has got a better perspective, I guess.
I suppose it's a different base.
It's a different baseline altogether. But there's nothing wrong with using an app. If people want to use them and it helps them investigate, helps them have fun, helps them get out there and ask questions, use them.
I was going to say,
absolutely use them. It's just not for me.
Like I've said before, I'm never, ever, ever, ever going to knock
people about
the way people investigate, because
if you come back with evidence and say, well, this came through, and you back it up with something, fair enough. Have fun with it.
That's what I mean. I mean, there's probably experiments and stuff that we do that people would look at and go,
yeah, they'd probably ask us questions.
No, that's a stupid idea. Yeah. That's not really going to give you for.
It's just the way it is.
If they want to do it, if people at this point, I mean, like I said, it's your unique way
of
investigating.
But
And if that's the way
yeah,
you're getting results,
if you get results, and
then
that's a good thing.
you know, that's your unique journey.
That's your way, yeah.
No. And let me put something to it. We're talking about experiments, and this was something that I've recently come across, and I don't know if a lot of people know about it. Have you ever heard of the Philip experiment?
I've not heard of that one, no.
No.
Okay, so let me put that and get your honest thoughts on this, because this was another thing that I've been asking people, and I've been asking their honest opinion. So it was, I think it was back in the late 80s. This experiment took place. It was a bunch of students doing parapsychology.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were looking into the paranormal field, and they were questioning about, can we create our own spirit? By doing a call out and everything. So the way that the initial experiment started, they met in a classroom setting where they gave a spirit an identity, name, the area he was from, job, everything. So
Right.
this person has been given a full profile. The next stage of the experiment was they went to a location and they started doing call outs for this Philip.
Yeah.
And they claimed that they were getting responses from the character that they had created. Do you think that is something that is actually possible, or do you think this is something that they've just made up to? This is what, because it's very unique to be able to create your own spirit.
You'd have to look
You have to try it yourself.
deeply into the way.
The psychology of it.
Yeah, you'd have to look deeply into the way that they was getting the results. Like, were they getting it with the cat ball flashing? Were they getting it off an app? Or how was that data?
So with what I from the investigate, they were doing EVP record. Well, at that time it was like the tape recordings. When you used to like have a tape,
Yeah.
and that's the way they were doing. They were doing it as an opening seance. So they were round, and then just doing the basic call out, and they were picking up responses based on their call outs. Or is this, as we say, they were making their minds think? So pareidolia again, where they creating that thought in their head, and that's where they're getting their responses from. Because I questioned it recently, and I'm like, could that be something that you could do with a group of people that you trust and see what happens?
Yeah.
Would that be something that we could use in modern time, and and see if that's something that happens? Or do you think that's something that is just not
Experiments are being tried out all the time. What I say is, if you've got something in mind and you want to try it out, do it. I mean, there's so many different ways and so many different the way people investigate. It's a lot of people, like even ourselves, the phone experiment and things like that. We've had some incredible, strange happenings. Like I said, like with that experiment, when you were talking about the Philip experiment, what kind of responses were they getting? Were they just getting a yes or no? Because they could have been contacting anybody.
I can't remember. I have to look back on the video.
Because there's getting responses that just says I'm here, or
they were getting responses linked to the person, like with the jobs and everything. And it really just I have to send you the video afterwards, because I've saved the video.
I mean,
and it really baffled me. Like, can we really create our own paranormal? And could that be something that we're doing now? That we're creating our own paranormal based on the way the mind works?
I suppose that is a very.
It's a tough.
That's a very open question, isn't it? To be fair, I mean,
it is.
I mean, going back to what we said, when let's say you go into, I don't know, I'm going to pull one out there. Let's say you go into Bow Manor Hall. So you spend like 4 or 5 days beforehand reading all of the information, and then you go on YouTube and you watch people that have been there, and they're going, "Oh yeah, we picked up a Steve and we picked up a Mary, and there was a little child called Bobby." So, like any good psychologist, you're going in there with a pretense.
Yeah.
So you are looking specifically for Bobby or Mary. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
probably,
you've already set your mind to know what you're looking for,
yeah.
and
So
that and you're gonna
you could go in there with that experiment, and you could probably have other responses and other EVPs, but you wouldn't focus on them. You'd be looking for those words that generically fitted that conversation.
yeah.
And I mean,
No,
prime example of that was going round, because I used to study sort of like the psychology and stuff like that. Was, I think it's Paul McKenna. That's Paul McKenna. Yeah, I think it's Paul McKenna, who proved. He said he was going to prove that he could do like a generic. What's the word? Reading. So he wrote this piece of paper, and on this paper was like a tarot card reading, or whatever
yeah.
you call it. And he handed it out to these 10 students, and every one of these students was like, "Oh my God, this is so personal to me. This is so true. This is so." But then afterwards, they found out that there was only one. There was only one written reading. But what he'd done is what had happened is that each person was picking up the bits that related to them,
Yeah.
but completely dismissing everything else that was there. So then it automatically fitted.
So they weren't listening to the whole of the. I get that. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because you're it is how the mind plays. But yeah. Now the other question I have, we're all parents here. I've got a very inquisitive 15-year-old that one has come out on investigation with us.
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on, like, if your kids wanted to come out on investigation, would that be something that you would be up for? And because that's another very divided opinion in the field, that when people see that kids are going out, and my response is, if we know they're mature enough, why can't they join it if it's in a controlled environment?
Exactly. They've been supervised, and they're trustworthy and want to learn. Let them learn. Simple as that. That's my opinion. Nothing wrong with children going. If they're supervised and they've got suitable, sensible parents,
they're being taught the right way.
They're being taught the right way. Let them learn.
I mean, that kind of goes back to the. And I don't think every parent did it, but my parents were the of your kids are gonna experiment with drugs or smoking or drinking. So my old man was like, right, if you're gonna do this, there's a bottle of whiskey, there's a packet of fags, help yourself. And it was controlled.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So for going out taking, I suppose as long as that child was physically mindset and understood the what could happen, and obviously if you're taking them out, you've got like set guidelines as to
I agree. Like I said, we took our son to a place called Fort Whitley in Portsmouth, down south where we are.
Awesome.
And it was the underground tunnels. And you know what? He was with our friend Sean, and he went through equipment with him. He explained everything, and he had a whale of a time. It was like, and you know what? I think it doesn't matter what kind of field it is. If they feel that they want to get involved, I don't think they should be suppressed from it, as long as it's in a controlled environment.
And they're sensible. That
took our door out.
They're being supervised, and they're sensible enough. Why not? They're still learning something.
And they're learning history as well. Let's not forget. One of the biggest things is, we were able to tell him about the history of the he actually went and researched the history of the location.
Oh, right, that's brilliant.
And it's great because then he's learning at the same time, something that is valid.
Yeah.
But my last question to the both of you then, what advice would you give someone starting in the paranormal? So if someone comes to you and said, Andy Tracey, I want to become an investigator, what are your top tips that you would give me to be successful?
Do you want me to answer that? What are you going to say?
I'll let you have a go first.
Right. So I'd say first of all, be yourself. Don't. You can watch the basics and listen, obviously, to the baseline of how you get into the whole kind of like, hi, my name is, I'm calling forward to spirits, blah, blah, blah. But find your own unique path.
Mhm.
You know, go into a location with an open mind,
Yeah.
but at the same time, always have that little bit of skepticism. Always have that kind of like, don't take everything as foolproof. Don't take everything as evidence. Look
beyond.
Yeah, look beyond it. Look at the location when you move into a location. Is it near a road? Has it got masts nearby? What natural noises are in the building?
Yeah, note everything.
Note it all down so that then when you're in the location and you're doing your own thing, you can look instantly and go, oh, well, there's an old tank in the loft, or there's I did notice there was a bird's nest, but just to be yourself and don't take everybody's opinion personally.
You got to be thick skinned. You've definitely got to be thick skinned
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
resilient to what's it called? Being criticised in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to happen, but
It's going to happen, and that's what I said. It's like, but don't be disheartened with it.
Don't be disheartened.
You know, I mean, you've probably witnessed it as well as we have, and probably anybody else that's listening's witnessed, where there's at least one of their friends that have had to back away from the paranormal because they've been ridiculed, or they've been bitten at, or they've had that little bit of playground bullying.
negativity.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you've got to, like I always say, if you find a unique, watch how other people do it. Look at their experiments,
learn.
but
That's also
learn from it and
Learn
see
from
whether
it,
you can
yeah.
experiment with that experiment
Yeah.
to turn it into your own unique
find new ways.
sense and way of doing it.
Yeah, I agree, and I think don't be scared to put out your evidence. You know,
Yeah.
regardless of what people.
Yeah,
You're
we've been set back so many times. People said, "Oh, you can't do this or you can't do that." If you're gonna put something out there, put it out, but at least try and back it up a little bit. I've got only because I do. I've built that wall and said, right, we're gonna put something out now. I'll back it up with the evidence. I'll back it up even further just to prove that it's not just what was said. There was something behind this, and it was true.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is being respectful to the
Oh,
location.
always be respectful.
And this is my biggest thing at the moment. And I'm, I know some people might like, but be respectful to each other.
Yeah.
I think this is one of the things that I'm really passionate about at the moment, especially with stuff that we've recently gone through with our own son. We need to set an example, because let's be honest, a lot of the younger generation are starting to get into the paranormal. They're starting to question things about what they're seeing. And the last thing they need to see is people taking chunks out of each other in the wrong way, and making it personal. Because we're setting a precedence that it's all right to bully people, basically.
It's not. That's what I said. It's like we've never. I mean, even people that have gone against us, or
just let them be.
Through it, yeah, it's
let
like
them be.
Okay, we're not even going to respond back to you. We're not going to respond back to you.
We never ultimately truth.
You know what I mean? It's like, even when you know that somebody's stabbing you in the back or doing that, I wouldn't. It's not in my nature to call that person out. But for me, I'd rather just go, you do you, we're doing
You
us.
do us, do yourself.
You know what I mean? It's like you can you
Yeah.
go, you're leading your own path.
Yeah, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane, and then we just keep it as simple
Exactly,
as that.
yeah.
Just move on. It's fine.
I mean, human nature says no. Human nature says that. I love the word para unity, but human nature says that's never ever going to
Nobody's
happen
ever going to get on 100%.
in any walk or any walks of life. If you've got 20 neighbours in your street, then you're really lucky if you're going to get on 100% all of the time with those 20 neighbours.
I think, you know, para unity and the concept of it is absolutely fantastic, the meaning behind it. But you're never going to.
Reality isn't there.
How honest? No, do you know what? I'm just going to say it. You need to be able to remove all the egos. You need to be able to remove the people.
100%.
You need to remove the people that think they're better than everyone else. You know, and it's their way or no way. You know, with having those sort of people in the field, para unity is never going to actually blossom into something beautiful like it could do. And this is the thing. This is my thing at the moment. And do you know what? Maybe so. I was speaking to a friend of mine, and we want to do a open podcast where we have multiple guests on, and it's basically just, you know, just throwing out the truth of what we feel about the paranormal and how to make it better. And maybe you two would be a great addition to that if you wanted to come on, because there's something in the pipeline. And I'll be honest, I've spoken to some people, and they're like, do you know what, this is not for me, because I will give you an honest answer, but I don't want to deal with the repercussions behind it. But I want to do it not for that, is to show that we can all have difference of opinion,
exactly,
and still be friends at the end of it. You know, we can still go away and say, do you know what, Andy, I appreciate what you're saying. I don't personally agree, but I hope you have a nice weekend, pal, and I'll speak to you soon.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
You know?
It's like it's like I'll say, like going back to my son. It's like, you know, like back when I was a wee nippersnapper, like, you know, you'd be in the pub and you'd be talking to your mate, and then something would be like, oh, hold on a minute, I don't like the sound of that, and then you'd have this an hour-long debate where you'd be getting irate with each other, and then at the end of it, you'd be like, you're having another drink. And it's the same with paranormal. It's the same with any. It doesn't matter whether it's the paranormal, the sewing circle, the train spotters. It's all the same. It's like, it's just respecting the fact that, like you say, your opinions may not be my opinions, but if they work for you,
exactly,
then I should respect that.
Yeah.
And it's vice versa. Like, you know, can I say that I've put out some great EVPs like you guys have? No. You know, I think I've had some good ones. But not, you know, listening to your guys, you know, and it does question, what are you guys doing different to what I'm doing? You know, and that is an open conversation that I'll be happy to have to find out. But we just live in like in an industry where people, the ego is too big for, you know, and it's just like,
that's a conversation I wouldn't have on a live, but I'd quite happily have it offline.
Yeah, no, definitely. But do you know what? I just want to thank the both of you for taking some time out this evening and having a chat with us. You know, it's been great to get to know you both, and hopefully we can do future shows together and, you know, catch up and see what's been going on. But no, I just want to thank you both for joining us. It's been great. It's been great to have a chat. And I'll definitely be interested in you sending me some of your recordings to listen to, because I think your findings are great, and I like the way you're doing it, like the fact that you're looking at the locations that are not popularly known, and you're getting the history, and you're bringing that history back to life for the smaller locations, because a lot of these places, people don't realize they actually do struggle to keep their doors open, because you know, a lot of them rely on public funding for people to visit these locations. And I think that's one thing that's great about the paranormal. In every part of the paranormal, we are making these locations aware by doing these podcasts, by going out investigating and tell about the history. And that's one thing that I think we can all say is the right way about the paranormal. We're keeping these locations and its history alive. But no, thank you so much again for joining me.
Not a
What
problem.
I will do is put you in the back room, close off for the rest of the evening, and then we'll have a quick chat before you go.
Yeah,
But
sure.
thanks so much,
Absolutely.
Andy and Tracy, for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, everyone who has watched and made comments. Again, Andy and Tracy, great couple, and they're doing great things with regards to the locations that they're investigating, the EVPs that they pick up. If you haven't yet, I did put their links on our page recently. Please go and give them a follow and listen to some of the evidence that they're picking up through their EVP recordings, because it is actually mind blowing. Some of the stuff is just great. And then, keep following them, see what they're doing and see how their journey in the paranormal unfolds, because they are definitely one team to definitely keep your eyes out for. But for us, we just, again, thank you everyone for joining. As always, your support means so much to us. We will be back soon with another podcast. We got another guest lined up, just confirming dates. And then we are going to be doing a open discussion with multiple guests about the paranormal, about their feelings about certain things, and having an open discussion and show that everyone can get on still. So that I'm looking forward to. But for now, everyone, enjoy your weekend and have a great time with whatever you're doing. And we'll be back soon. But bye for now.